Hey, I'm Dave. This is Other People's Beer, where we are raising the quality of beer by lowering the barrier to entry. Today, we're going to be working on wiring up the front panel to the back panel of that controller. If you haven't been following along and you're feeling a little bit lost on this video or podcast, go and back up to the beginning and start from there. So, let's show you what we got. Again, I am using these excellent schematics from the Electric Brewing Supply Company for a 30 amp PID 2-element control panel. Downloaded these off their website. I will say that it has been a little bit hard to go through these schematics without having their book. Their book's about $25 online if you feel that you're a little bit lost. Again, do things safely. Do as much research as you can before you start on this endeavor, because it is not easy. But as you can see, we have everything wired up. We have the outlets going into our buses. We have neutral bus, ground bus, and all of the power in between going into our breakers and our relays. And then over here we have our solid state relays all wired up. And then over here is the back of the control panel. I've already started wiring up or setting in the wire anchors, and the ground is already hooked up into here and all throughout the panel. So as you start going through your wiring, you should, best practice I would say, is to perform a continuity check. So I will just give a quick example of a continuity check and how you do it, just to make sure that everything is wired up in the way that you want it to be. So to perform a continuity check, you're going to need a standard, non-fancy multimeter with your leads connected, and then this little symbol down here. At least that's what it looks like on mine. But what a continuity check is, it sends a little bit of a voltage, I believe, current, something, who knows, through the wires that you are trying to determine, continuity, and it verifies that the path that you are looking at is correct. So, for instance, if I take my boil kettle SSR and I go to my boil kettle relay and I find the right one, you hear that really, really annoying sound. Right, so what that's telling me is that this leg of my solid state relay is connected to this leg of my relay. And then I can go like across my breakers. Well, that's fun. Why that's not. That's hooked up. See, this is why it's important to do a continuity check. It seems like this leg of the breaker might be dead or not hooked up. Let's check this one. It'll be really fun to buy a new breaker. Yep, so those ones are alright, well, this is why you do a continuity check. So it turns out that breaker is actually broken. So again, highlighting why you need to do a continuity check. So the breaker closed, nothing across these poles here, nothing. We got stuff across this pole, even going down, tightening everything up, nothing. There's a small little some continuity there, but it should be much louder, right? Should be able to hear it all the way across. So I've ordered another one of these breakers, and hopefully it'll get here soon. All right, for the next bit, I'm just gonna run through continuity checks all over the panel, trying to chase all the wires down and make sure everything is connected. So enjoy. So before we start talking about the wiring of the faceplate,
I wanted to talk a little bit about how I poked all these holes to the front of the control panel. As you can see on the screen, I am using a hydraulic hole punch. Looked it up online. It's about $150, and it works like a dream. As you can see here, we are going through this 1/8-inch stainless steel like butter. Huge thanks to my coworker Carol Capriati for taking time out of his lunch to help me with this. As a reminder, a couple things about your layout. You want to be very, very certain of where your components are going, how many components you're going to be using. We'll get into it later when we start talking about my troubleshooting efforts, but there are a couple of things that I would have done differently during this activity, I suppose, in order to make sure that my layout was what I wanted. Mainly, I would have done a little bit more research into the alarm circuit. My alarm circuit works, maybe, I don't know. We'll look at the troubleshooting, but it isn't exactly what I wanted. So I should have done just a little bit more research, and I would recommend that you do some more research too. So without any further ado, time-lapse time. As I'm finishing up the control panel faceplate, I'll give you a sneak peek, especially for those who've seen it on Instagram. Here is our front panel, and a big thanks to Kendall Feather for that hot cone design. One last thing I want to talk about is the heat exchanger or heatsink. They're a pain to drill and tap. Just an FYI, I actually had to go buy a brand new one because I ruined the other one in my first attempts at tapping those holes. Lesson learned on that one: even though it's aluminum and it's nice and soft, use cutting oil.
Let's try this heat exchanger thing again, shall we? I have actually practiced this many times tapping a hole for this itty bitty little M5 bolt. M5 bolt. I've been successful twice. So let's try tapping this one. Brand new heat exchanger, heatsink, and pretty nice one. Heatsinks online if you are interested. But here we go.
So in addition to the cutting oil tip that I got from some friends at work, I went and I did some more research, and what I found is that what you're seeing on the screen right now is not the best method to tap a hole. What I ended up doing is disconnecting the motor from my drill press, and I used the drill press as a constant pressure and a linear guide to force the tap down into the hole rather than my hands wobbling about. I think this one's going to need some Loctite, or I'm going to have to get a bigger bolt. Tapping hurts, and I didn't do a good job. But this one, better. Oh well, we'll see. Try and do better on the next ones. I mean, for a not great tapping job, sure holds on all right. Didn't fall off. That's good. All right, now let's try some wiring on the front panel. See how that goes.
Here, I'm helping my daddy with a continuity check. I'm Mary.
I'm Dave.
This is Other People's Beer.
This old brewery edition. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time where we will be connecting our controller to power and doing some troubleshooting. See you then.